How's it going, everybody? Josh from Dicus Enterprises here today. We're going to do another product review. This time we're taking a look at the Zurich ZR11. And if you hadn't figured it out already, this is a code scanner. This is going to be one that you can go out to your local Harbor Freight. You can pick up there. Relatively decent price. It's not super gnarly priced. They do have a cheaper version and I believe two more expensive versions. So this unit here is kind of the middle of the road one that you can go into Harbor Freight and buy. I picked this up because I had a more of a professional model. It was an older model, however, and it wasn't able to be updated since I believe 2001 or 2002 is when they stopped supporting the software for that particular handheld scanner. And it was a pretty good scanner. It did live data. It would do all of the ABS, all the smog, all of your main computer scans. So it was a really good setup. I liked it. It's portable. It was easy. It was just a little too old though, and seeing as how it's 2021, you kind of got to get up to times. So earlier in the year, I did buy this back in 2020. I didn't buy this in 2021. It would have been, I'd say, just over a year since I've bought this. And if you're new to the channel, then you don't know this. However, I do like to do long-term testing on a lot of my equipment, especially things that cost a little bit more money or things that are going to be put through use and abuse. I like to do a long-term test on it. That way I can give you guys a good, accurate review on the product. So this is one of those. I've had this for, I'd say, about a year and maybe 3 months at the most. I picked it up to do some scanning. It is standard OBD2 port. You just hook and unhook right here. Basic little fittings, nothing fancy. It's got a standard port on the bottom for you to hook up to the USB on your computer to do any type of updates. You can update this unit if you go to Zurich's website. When you buy this, it'll come with a little pamphlet. It'll explain how you can get updates on these, so on and so forth. And it's a really good deal, I'm not gonna lie. I was pleasantly surprised. It did take, I'd say, probably about 15 minutes or so to get used to it, to figure out how it works and how it operates. After that, though, I plugged it into my pickup truck, scanned it, read the codes, cleared the codes, drove around with some live data. Everything works great on it. I'm going to use it today, actually, on a Chevy Impala that has a check engine light along with a airbag light and some evap codes that are going on. It needs a fair amount of TLC. We're going to scan it today, kind of get a list of all the parts and all the codes that we need for it. That way we can get everything ordered up and hopefully get that car taken care of here in the next couple of days. We'll go out and take a look at that next. Alright, so we're out in a Chevy Impala, and we have the Zurich ZR11 out here, and we're going to hook it up. Now it's going to auto on when I plug in to the OBD2 port. Give me just a minute here. I'm trying to look under the dash and do this all one-handed. There we go. You can see it starts turning itself on. I already have the ignition turned to the on position. It's linking up. It's scanning. You can see we got a red light on smog because I have 3 evap codes. They're all the same. They're all PO 4409 codes. For 2 different reasons. 1, it needs the vent solenoid, and 2, it needs a charcoal canister. So we're waiting on those parts. Now it also has a check engine light. It's got an ABS light and an airbag light. We know what all those issues are. We've already scanned it and checked it, and we're going to resolve those. So we can go through and you can see all different kinds of information for that DTC, the freeze frame of when it happened. That's the second code. That's the third code. They're all the same code. Then we can go to the main menu. You can do different system tests. You can look at your vehicle information. You can reset oil life, which we're going to be doing here soon because we're going to be replacing the oil pressure sensor along with doing an oil change at the same time because the sensor is no good. That's part of what the check engine light's for. Battery reset, battery and alternator monitor, drive cycle procedures, and then just some updates. We can do an evap test. We can do an OBD2 monitor test. So it's got a lot of different things you can do. It's pretty nice. You can do live data. We don't have the vehicle running right now, so it's not going to pick up anything on live data. That's, no big surprise. That's why a lot of that says NA. We haven't had the vehicle running yet. We can go down. We can check ABS. That is the vehicle. It's going to scan it. Going to come up with codes on this also. Got a front wheel speed sensor on the right-hand side. Sadly, you can't buy just a sensor for this vehicle. You got to buy the entire hub assembly. It's not that expensive. It's going to be ordered. So overall, you can go back through and erase codes. We're not erasing anything yet because we still need to do some repairs on the vehicle and then clear the codes and make sure they don't come back up. So this is a really pretty versatile tool for the price. I do like it. It works well for, the light duty work that we do nowadays. We don't do a whole lot of modern day vehicle work, just some computer scanning here and there, a few other odds and ends, and that's really about it. We don't do a whole lot when it comes to modern day vehicle performance. We don't tune yet or anything like that. We don't do a whole lot of service on them. Mostly what we service is performance vehicles, dirt track cars, off-road vehicles, classic vehicles, things of that nature. We do a little bit on newer ones like this one on occasion. And these are just some common quick issues that this Impala has. A little bit of TLC and the dashboard will be cleared out and it'll be good to go. But overall, for your weekend warrior or someone who, only does a small amount of, vehicle scanning, this works out really well. It's not going to be as in-depth, obviously, as like a high-dollar Snap-on unit. This, if you own a Chevy pickup truck, this will not auto brake bleed your ABS system. It does not have that capability. I think one of the larger units might have that capability. However, this one does not. So that's a little bit of a downside. And there's a lot of other things that a higher end, like a Snap-on scanner, can access in one of these vehicles that this cannot. So this is a basic one. It is nice that it will go into ABS and scan for those codes. You can do the oil reset, alternator monitoring, live data. And for the price tag, it's not all that bad. We're going to go ahead, get this unplugged. We're going to drain the oil out on this and take care of that oil pressure sensor, and then we'll do a wrap-up on this. Well, we're back inside, and time to give you guys my overall wrap-up and review on the Zurich ZR11 from Harbor Freight. To walk out the door with this without a coupon or a sale or a deal or anything like that going on, it's, I believe it's either $120.99 or $129.99. So right around in that area. And compared to some of the other code scanners out on the market, that is not a bad price, especially for everything this does. It would be nice if this particular unit could access ABS in more models of vehicles. It seems like it doesn't access ABS in some of the larger trucks. I tried to get into ABS controls on a Chevy 2500. It wouldn't allow me to do that. It wouldn't allow me to do the automatic brake bleeding and a few other odds and ends, which obviously it's a limited, carry around palm scanner. It's not a high-end Snap-on unit, so it does have to have its limitations. some smaller vehicles such as the Impala. However, I can scan and check ABS codes and ABS lights with. So I don't know if there's a certain cutoff, if it's just certain years, makes, and models that it can't do. So keep that in mind if you buy one of these. It may be a little hit and miss on whether or not it can do ABS. You'll want to look into that a little bit more. I no longer have the original packaging to this. It has been a year, maybe a year and 3 months since I actually bought this, and I have done quite a bit of moving since then, and usually I keep the packaging in the books for any products that I'm going to do a review on. That way I can show it to you in the video. Sadly, this one got lost in the shuffling around and moving of offices and moving of shops and things of that nature. So, not much I can really tell you as far as whether or not it says anything about the ABS compatibility on the packaging or in the book. I'm sure that's something you can look up either on Harbor Freight's main website, or if you do a Google search on the Zurich ZR11, I'm sure you can find it. Now, the thing about Zurich is it's not a Harbor Freight brand. This is a higher-end brand that Harbor Freight just happens to carry and sell. You can buy these online through other distributors other than Harbor Freight. You may be able to find it a little bit cheaper. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. But this isn't like a Chicago Electric scanner or anything like that. This is a much better quality unit. This one's holding up very well so far. You can see it's not, starting to tear. It's not starting to chafe or anything like that. It's gotten a fair amount of use. It's been ridden around in vehicles, left in toolboxes, moved around in tool bags. This unit does not come with its own case. Harbor Freight does sell plenty of hard cases, soft cases, weatherproof containers and cases and things like that, similar to a Pelican case that you can get to put this in, and that's what I do have, one that I'm going to put this in. However, for that year of review, I wanted to kind of just leave it in a toolbox, throw it in tool bags, leave it in the back seat of the truck, and just see how it would kind of take the use and abuse of someone who might not be as easy or as gentle on some of their tools and equipment as some of us other people might be. Kind of give a little bit of a more in-depth, more fair review, and I'm very surprised at how well it's held up. You can see it's got the normal kind of light scratches on the screen. I have not taken, I don't know if you can see up in that corner, but I haven't taken the clear plastic off yet. So if I were to peel this, all of this underneath would still be clean. And that's a cool thing about this is you didn't have to remove that second layer of plastic, which is nice. It protects the screen, and I'm sure you could probably remove this and go out and buy a sheet of screen protector and cut your own if you need it to. I also like the fact that it comes with a attached Velcro wrap to wrap your cord. That way you don't have to worry about trying to keep a zip tie or a twist tie or something like that and not lose it. I do like that it's attached to the cable because that's usually the first thing that I'll end up losing. Good quality connector. I don't have any issues with it sticking. It does have just a little simple push lock on it. It doesn't take much pressure at all. And I'm assuming, don't quote me on this, but I do believe that you can buy this cable here online separately if it gets damaged for your Zurich. But I'm not 100% sure on that. That was some hearsay that I was told by someone else who was in Harbor Freight when I was buying this, and we got to talking about it because he had one. He had his for about 3-4 months and really liked it. I've never actually got around to Googling or looking into buying another one of these because I haven't needed it, and hopefully if you take care of it, neither will you. The only way I could see that being an issue is if you broke either a pin on the OBD2 side, a pin on the scanner side, or maybe cut your cable, because there's not really a whole lot to go wrong with this unit, which is really nice. Your battery just takes a Phillips to remove this back case. If I remember correctly, I believe these are AA's. It's been a while. It doesn't really take a lot of battery power, thankfully. So I've had these batteries in here since I bought it new, and I haven't had to replace it. It will auto power up when you plug into a vehicle as well. It has the battery function. That way, if you don't feel like taking pictures of the codes or writing the codes down, you can just take this inside, sit down next to your computer, and, you know, scan through and check all your individual codes. So you can see I can turn it on. The other nice thing about it is it does have a light in the OBD2 port. That way, if you're working at night or in a dark vehicle and you can't really see what you're doing, you can kind of shine a light down underneath of that dashboard and you're able to find that OBD2 port, which is very nice. So you can see a couple of the vehicles I just scanned this week. You can go through and, you know, pick a vehicle, whether it's OBD2 or not. We're going to go back to vehicle selection. It tells you DTCs for the global OBD2 and for ABS. You can pull it up and it'll tell you right front wheel speed sensor circuit. And then press any hotkey. Let's see, let's go back here. Oh, that was power off, I'm sorry. I usually just take pictures so I don't have to go back on mine. And then, 2 DTCs, the evap code, permanent, and then the pending one, they're both the same. And at the top, it'll tell you any issues that you're having, whether it be evap, EGR, CAT, your O2, miscellaneous, fuel, communications, anything like that. And this vehicle needs a charcoal sensor and a few other odds and ends, or charcoal canister, pardon me, not a charcoal sensor. It needs a charcoal canister, along with a few other odds and ends for the evap system. It has a evap leak and a few other issues that's going on with it that we need to take care of. And we're waiting on the canister and the vent solenoid to come in, because the canister, sadly, is a dealer-only part for this vehicle. So we weren't able to get it from one of our typical part suppliers like AC Delco or Fisher's Auto. So, with the snow and all, no telling when that part's going to come in. We'll see. Power it down. Turns your light off immediately. That way it doesn't draw a lot of power. Out of 5 stars, I'm going to give this a solid 4. I really like it. I would recommend someone to buy it. On the price, it's not too bad. You could probably find a little bit of a cheaper scanner out there somewhere that does everything this one does. Whether or not you can just, you know, walk down to your local store to buy it, or if you have to get it off, Amazon or eBay, that's a different story. I prefer to buy from a store. That way, if I ever have a problem with this, I can actually go talk to a human being, and I don't have to worry about sending out emails and messages and talking through chats to people who are God knows where, and, you know, who knows what they actually know about the product or my situation. Like this, I just walked back to the store I bought it from, tell them, hey, here's my receipt, here's my issue, let's take care of it. So 4 out of 5 stars, would definitely recommend. The only reasons I'm going to give it 4 and not 5 is because it would have been nice if this came with some type of a case, even if it was a cheap, soft case. Just that way you can keep all your cables together. That would have been nice. It would be nice if the ABS was a little bit more expanded on it. Once again, I understand that you have to have limits and restrictions, otherwise you bump the price on the unit, and that's why they have different types of scanners, so I'm not too upset about that. I get that. And it is just a little bit of a hassle to learn how to operate it, because a lot of these buttons are multifunction, so you kind of have to go through, learn how to use it and kind of memorize it, or keep the book nearby the first few times you use it. Other than that, though, I think it's a great unit. Would definitely recommend that you buy this. So, as always, we are trying to grow this channel. We're trying to, our goal for 2021 is going to be, fingers crossed, hopefully at least 100 subscribers. We're at 49 right now, so I don't think we'll have too big of an issue getting to 100 subscribers before the end of the year. So if you did take the time to watch this video and you thought any information on this video was useful, please do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're interested in more review content or in some of our upcoming builds and projects, hit the alarm button. That way you get updates on when we make posts. We do plan on doing more reviews. We have a couple more coming up on some more products, both Harbor Freight and non-Harbor Freight. I know we do a lot of Harbor Freight reviews, and the reason we do that is because it's in a lot of people's price range, and when people think cheap tools or tools at a bargain price, that's the #1 place they think of. So that's why we do a lot of reviews on Harbor Freight equipment. But I do have some Eastwood equipment, some Hobart equipment, some Miller equipment that we're going to go over and that we're going to start reviewing here shortly. Equipment that we've been putting through testing and that we've been, kind of using and abusing to see how much we like it and how well it can stand up to the tests. So hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to check us out on Instagram at Dicus_Enterprises or on Facebook at Dicus Enterprises LLC. We also now have a website, DicusEnterprises.com, and that has links to all of our social media pages as well. So until next time, keep warm and have a good one, everybody.